Thank you for tuning in to V News. You're watching the Bulletins. Coming up next, we have your top stories.
The Supreme People's Court celebrates 70 years of its traditional day. National Assembly Chairman Nguyễn Sinh Hùng continues his official visit to the United States. Conference on Solidarity with Cuba adopts the Hanoi Declaration.
The Supreme People's Court organized a ceremony in Hanoi on September 9th to celebrate 70 years of its traditional day. State President Trương Tấn Sang and many other senior leaders attended the event.
Chief Judge of the Supreme People's Court, Trương Hòa Bình, said the court sector has worked hard to protect justice, human rights and socialism, as well as the legitimate interests of organizations and individuals since its establishment on September 13, 1945. The sector has expanded its partnerships with courts from various countries in the region and the world. Addressing the event, President Sang calls for more efforts from judges and officials of people's courts to enhance the court system's operation efficiency. The state leader stressed the need to ensure fairness, integrity and honesty in judging activities, while learning from and making efforts to better understand and support people. President Sang said the sector has fulfilled its task over the past 7 decades by handing down strict punishments to those harming the revolution and the interests of the nation, party, state and people, while defending revolutionary achievements and serving the country's development cause. On this occasion, President Sang presented a Ho Chi Minh Order to the court sector.
Delegates at the Asia-Pacific Regional Conference of Solidarity with Cuba adopted the Hanoi Declaration on September 9th after 2 days of working. More details coming up next.
The delegates recognized the historic significance of the announcement by Cuban President Raul Castro and U.S. President Barack Obama on the restoration of diplomatic relations between Cuba and the U.S. They welcomed the decision taken by President Obama to exclude Cuba from the list of state sponsors of international terrorism. They reaffirmed their commitment to continue spreading the truth about realities in Cuba, the country's process of updating economic and social model, and its socialist revolution.
The declaration adopted in Hanoi will be an advantage for us to connect with other regional friendship organizations to continue to support Cuba in the new era.
At the moment, my branch in Canberra, we're raising money for a respite centre for people that have caring responsibilities for people with different disabilities, and it's being set up. We're raising money to buy equipment for that centre. We also have functions each year, 2 or 3 times a year where we raise money for that project, but it also raises awareness of Cuban culture and Cuban music and Cuban food and Cuban way of life. So we do lots. We're involved in a lot of aspects.
The delegates pledged to continue working together for the strengthening and expansion of the solidarity movement with Cuba in each of their countries. The 2-day conference drew 220 delegates from 18 countries who discussed the role played by friendship solidarity organizations in calling for removing embargoes against Cuba and seeking measures to enhance solidarity movements with the Latin American country.
The same day, State President Trương Tấn Sang hosted a reception for delegates of the Asia-Pacific Regional Conference of Solidarity with Cuba. President of the Vietnam Union of Friendship Organizations Vũ Xuân Hồng briefed President Sang on the outcomes of the 7th Asia-Pacific Regional Conference of Solidarity with Cuba. The state president acclaimed the close collaboration between international organizations and the Vietnam Union of Friendship Organizations in the preparation work, thus contributing to the success of the conference. He also confirmed that solidarity with and support for Cuba is a consistent policy of the Vietnamese party, state and people. The president also voiced his hope that Cuba will continue to reap more achievements during its development process and improve its position and prestige on the international arena. Moving on to an update on the visit to the United States by National Assembly Chairman Nguyễn Sinh Hùng. On September 8 Vietnam time, Chairman Hùng met World Bank President Kim Jong-kim. Both hailed the fruitful developments in cooperation between Vietnam and the bank, saying many World Bank-funded projects in the country have proven effective and contributed to its economic growth. President Kim Jong-kim highly valued Vietnam's socio-economic achievements in recent years, particularly those in realizing sustainable development goals. The same day, Chairman Hùng attended a World Bank-organized seminar on the Vietnamese legislators' increasingly important role in national development. The legislator said Vietnam has made great strides in development, from urban to rural areas and in socio-economic sectors. The country has realized the Millennium Development Goals, he said, stressing the substantial support and high sense of responsibility of the bank during the process. He used the occasion to inform Vietnam's constitution, which advocates for a socialist-oriented market economy, social welfare, human rights, and citizens' freedom and democracy. Keeping peace, ensuring national security, protecting the nation's sovereignty, and coping with climate change remain Vietnam's biggest concerns, the top legislator said, adding that the last is critical to the country's effective implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals. Prior to attending these events, Chairman Hùng and his entourage visited monuments dedicated to Abraham Lincoln, the U.S. 16th President, and Martin Luther King, a U.S. civil rights activist of African origin. The Communist Party of Vietnam and the Social Democratic Party of Germany held their fourth theoretical dialogue in Berlin, Germany on September 8, focusing on political and economic viewpoints on global and regional integration. The dialogue was attended by Đinh Thế Huynh, Politburo member and secretary of the party Central Committee, and Adelgard Buhmann, Vice President of German Bundestag, among others. It contributed to the implementation of the Hanoi Joint Statement on establishing the Vietnam-Germany Strategic Partnership and the further expansion of cooperation in trade and investment between the two countries. The party delegation also had talks with Social Democratic Party Vice President Thorsten Schäfer-Gümbel, during which the two sides updated each other on party congress preparations and global and regional political issues of mutual interest. The Vice President said the two nations should continue to dialogue for enhanced mutual trust and bilateral cooperation. Functional committees of the ASEAN Inter-Parliamentary Assembly (IPA) convened in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia on September 9 as part of the ongoing 36th IPA General Assembly. The Vietnamese delegation attended these meetings. During the meeting of the Committee on Political Matters, delegates debated and adopted a draft resolution on the report of the 7th meeting of the IPA caucus, and two others on strengthening the ASEAN community through good governance towards inclusiveness and strengthening ASEAN political security community towards inclusiveness. The Vietnamese delegation underscored the need for the full and effective implementation of the Declaration on the Conduct of Parties in the East Sea and efforts to finalize a Code of Conduct in the East Sea. Meanwhile, attendees at the meeting of the Committee on Economic Matters discussed and passed a draft resolution on enhancing inter-regional cooperation and intra-regional integration in trade and industry, and another on narrowing development gaps among ASEAN member states. Issues tabled at the meeting of the Committee on Social Matters included draft resolutions on protecting the rights of older persons and enhancing their quality of life, enhancing ASEAN higher education towards an inclusive ASEAN community, the report of the 12th meeting of the IPA Fact-Finding Committee to combat the drug menace, and the formation of the IPA Fact-Finding Committee Technical Working Group. Construction of the Nghi Sơn Iron and Steel International General Terminal serving the development of the Nghi Sơn Steel Complex began in the northern central province of Thanh Hóa on September 9.
The terminal covers 71 hectares in the Nisa economic zone and is an important component of the Nisa steel complex, which spreads across 630 hectares with a designed capacity of 7 million tons of steel per year. The project, which has an investment of $266 million, has 9 wharves and can accommodate a ship of up to 50,000 tons. It can also load 30 million tons of goods annually. Addressing the event, Deputy Prime Minister Hwang Chung-hai said the Nisa port and the terminal in particular play an important role in expanding trade and serving the import and export of goods for the north-central coastal region, contributing to the socio-economic development of Thanh and its neighboring areas. He urged the local authorities to create all possible conditions for the investor, the Nisa Iron and Steel Joint Stock Company, to complete the project on schedule.
Representatives from about 70 Vietnamese and Egyptian enterprises shared information on business opportunities at a recent forum in Cairo. Vietnam News Agency correspondents in Egypt with the full story. Addressing the event, Vietnamese ambassador to Egypt, Đào Thanh Trung, proposed solutions to elevate bilateral trade to $1 billion. He suggested the two nations' businesses set up direct contacts to ease risk caused by conducting business through third parties, while actively taking part in trade fairs and investment seminars. Vietnam and Egypt boast substantial potential for cooperation in agriculture, forestry and fisheries, he said, stressing the need for the two sides to accelerate the implementation of the agreement on establishing a joint trade office inked by the Vietnam Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the Egyptian Trade Union Federation in 2009. Two-way trade climbed from $187 million in 2010 to nearly $400 million last year. Of the figure, Vietnam's export value reached $380 million. An exhibition highlighting 48 years of ASEAN peace and development as well as 20 years of Vietnam's ASEAN membership is underway in Hanoi. We went along to take a look.
The exhibition, available at 58 Lý Thường Kiệt Street, features ASEAN member countries and Timor-Leste. Jointly held by the Vietnam Union of Friendship Organization's Hanoi chapter and the embassies of the grouping's member countries, the exhibition introduces about 100 photos featuring the outstanding attainments of each country since they each joined the grouping.
Solidarity, cooperation and friendship are prominent spirits among ASEAN members, and all member states consider this invaluable assets and a decisive factor for this grouping's future.
The event is expected to give visitors an overall and diverse view of the efforts, achievements and booming growth of ASEAN countries. The exhibition will run until September 15.
Also on September 9th, an exhibition on the historical and legal evidence proving Vietnam's sovereignty over Hoàng Sa and Trường Sa archipelagos, known as Paracel and Spratly in English, was launched in the Central Highlands province of Lâm Đồng.
The exhibition is co-organized by the Ministry of Information and Communications and the Provincial People's Committee. It showcases hundreds of maps, documents, publications and objects issued by the Vietnamese state in different periods and foreign states that testify to Vietnam's sovereignty over Trường Sa and Hoàng Sa. Notably, the National Archive Center No. 4 in Đà Lạt is exhibiting the UNESCO-recognized wood blocks of the Nguyen dynasty for the first time, which were compiled from 1802 to 1888. Many parts of the documentation mention the Vietnamese state's exercitation and protection of sovereignty over the two archipelagos. The exhibition also showcases 4 atlases issued by the Chinese Qing dynasty in 1908 and the Republic of China in 1917, 1919, and 1933. All of them show the Chinese southernmost territory ending at Hainan Island without any references to Trường Sa or Hoàng Sa archipelagos. The event will run until September 13.
And we have come to the end of our news bulletin. Thank you for your attention. For more information, you can log on to our website at www.vietnamplus.vn. We'll see you soon.